They're gullible morons who'll believe anything and just want to please grown-ups. And they don't have any frame of reference. So they normalize whatever's happening. That's why endlessly talking about gender to 6-year-olds isn't just inappropriate. It's what the law would call entrapment, which means enticing people into doing something they wouldn't ordinarily do. And if you think that some of that isn't going on with gender in schools, you're not watching enough TikTok videos.
I pledge allegiance to the queers.
I'm not allowed to be out as trans non-binary at school.
Watch closely. Bill Maher is tearing the left apart right before our eyes. No jokes, no shields, just raw, unfiltered rage. What used to be clever satire has turned into a scorched earth spectacle. And we're all witnesses. We've seen him tiptoe around the chaos before, but now he's done playing nice. The hypocrisy, the obsession, the sheer self-destruction, it's like watching a mansion burn from the inside. And Maher, he's walking out, leaving the smoke and ruins behind. What could push a man so entrenched in one side to turn and raise his middle finger? And is he looking for a new battlefield? Or is this the end of the road? Buckle up. It's a wild ride.
The evil governor of Florida was saying the exact same thing about kids and creepy stuff at Disney that liberals now find intolerable at Nickelodeon. He was dismissed as a hick and a bigot, but why would a kids' content factory like Disney be all that different than the one at Nickelodeon? The reason we find pedophiles in the Boy Scouts and the Rectory and kids' TV is that's where the kids are. DeSantis wasn't wrong, but we're so tribal now, the left will overlook child if the guy from the wrong party calls it out.
You're witnessing a meltdown few saw coming. Bill Maher, once a diehard liberal and defender of the left, is now standing back in disbelief, watching everything he trusted crumble. The truth? Today's left isn't about justice. It's about power, optics, and control. Speak honestly and you're a target. Question their logic and suddenly you're an outcast. It's not politics anymore. It's a high-stakes purity contest and Maher isn't playing. From the outside, it looks like a carnival of virtue, but scratch the surface, and it's a swamp of hypocrisy, obsession, and moral posturing. Kids are being pulled into worlds they're too young to navigate, and Maher sees the manipulation in plain sight. This isn't progress. It's control masquerading as care. And Maher, he's done pretending, done towing the line, done swallowing the gaslighting. With a fearless glare and no safety net, he's walking away, leaving the chaos behind. The question on everyone's lips now, what's next for the man who just flipped off an empire of self-righteousness? And can anyone really blame him for abandoning a house of mirrors gone mad?
Not that there's anything wrong with being a drag queen, but maybe it's time to admit that sometimes Drag Queen Story Hour is more for the queen than the kids. Sure, kids love a clown, but does the clown have to have tits?
Most people scroll past it without a second thought. But not Bill Maher. He sees the charade for exactly what it is. Drag queen story hours? Forget books or learning. It's all about spectacle. Adults in glitter and heels putting on performances for children isn't education, it's showmanship disguised as tolerance. The message isn't about diversity or growth, it's about validation for grown-ups seeking applause. Maher doesn't mince words. This isn't empathy, it's ego on parade. Character building? Forget it. Clout chasing? That's the real game. And deep down, everyone involved knows it. Yet they keep pushing, daring anyone to question the act, ready to slap the transphobe label on anyone who does. Maher's had enough of biting his tongue. Now, he's speaking for the millions who have been watching in silence. Stop turning children into stage props.
And when I see a 5-year-old tipping at a bar under a sign that says it's not gonna lick itself, do I have to pretend that's cool in order to keep my liberal ID card? Sorry, I can't do that. If you want kids to be more tolerant, why not have handicapped people read them stories? Kids are more likely to encounter disabled people than drag queens in life. Geez, can't we just go back to the good old days when kids were read simple stories with simple morals like, if you're a lonely single man, just make a boy out of wood?
You can feel the pain in Maher's words. He remembers a time when children's stories were simple, tales of courage, kindness, and honesty. Now, it's a nonstop barrage of rainbows, pronouns, and moral lectures before the bell even rings. Even story time has been hijacked, packed with ideological traps disguised as picture books. A bunny can't just make a friend anymore. It has to navigate gender identity while dismantling the patriarchy. For Maher, it's heartbreaking. Childhood, once a sanctuary, has turned into the front line of a culture war. He's mourning innocence lost and calling out the manipulation in plain sight, and his message is unmistakable. He's done watching kids become pawns in someone else's social experiment.
I've said it before, wokeness is not an extension of liberalism anymore. It's more often taking something so far that it becomes the opposite. Teaching kids not to hate or judge those who are different, great. Proud we got there, all for that. But at a certain point, inclusion becomes promotion. And contrary to current progressive dogma, children aren't miniature adults wise beyond their years, they're morons.
This isn't fringe politics. Maher sees the rot reaching the very top. He unloads on the supposed giants of the Democratic Party. AOC, Bernie Sanders, Gavin Newsom, the self-proclaimed high priests of woke culture. Bernie rails against billionaires until he cashes in. Newsom lets houses burn to save a fish. And AOC, if you didn't vote for Kamala, apparently you're a misogynist. This isn't leadership. It's cosplay politics wrapped in recycled slogans. Maher has had enough. He won't pledge loyalty to a cult built on TikTok activism and hollow moral posturing. He's watched the trajectory: division, dysfunction, disaster. And he refuses to march in their woke funeral parade. The targets aren't just ideas, they're children. Drag shows for kids, hormone therapies for teens, pronoun drills in kindergarten. The left shrugs. Maher doesn't. He draws a hard red line. This isn't ideology anymore. It's a full-scale rewrite of childhood. For years, conservatives warned of a hidden agenda to push LGBTQ+ themes onto Generation Alpha. Maher admits he laughed it off, until a Disney executive admitted it outright. Queerness was being slipped into shows, not for inclusion, not for tolerance, but to engineer culture. Maher was stunned, enraged even, gaslit, strung along, and now he's pulling the alarm. This isn't about rights, it's about reprogramming a generation. Even a lifelong liberal sees it for what it is. And while he screams the warning, the left keeps its fingers in its ears. He's done apologizing, done compromising, done watching as childhood is hijacked. And when a liberal like Maher starts echoing conservatives on kids' issues, it's not a shift, it's a siren. The left hasn't just lost Maher, they've lost the plot entirely.
If you want to win my vote, don't give me the ick. You know what the ick is, right? It's a term mostly used in the dating world to describe that moment when one of the people, usually the man, does something so icky that the woman cannot forgive it or forget it. Like sending a pic or being mean to the waitress, paying for dinner with a coupon, getting his mother to call you when you dump him, asking for in baby voice. Once you give her the ick, it's a wrap.
Bill Maher spent decades defending the Democratic Party, and now the party makes him cringe from head to toe. Why? Because they've gone completely off the rails. Biological men in women's sports, in bathrooms, in spaces meant for women. It's not progress. It's a U-turn straight into absurdity. Anti-woman, anti-science, anti-reality. Maher isn't just frustrated, he's mortified. These were his people. Now, they're a traveling circus of catastrophic ideas. And come 2028, will he even pull that lever again? Only if the Democrats snap out of their fever dream and rediscover common sense. Spoiler, the odds aren't looking good. Even Bobby Kennedy Jr., scion of a Democratic dynasty, ditched the party for Trump. And suddenly, Maher isn't alone in seeing the same warning signs, a party that has lost both its mind and its soul. He hasn't declared allegiance to the GOP, but he hasn't ruled it out either. He's testing the waters, gauging his audience, laying the groundwork. If the Democratic ship keeps sinking into absurdity, Maher could jump ship entirely. And when he does, the left's meltdown will be historic. This isn't about Maher flipping sides for fun. He's a liberal realist calling out a party gone rogue. Logic is mocked, biology is a target. Victimhood is idolized, childhood is weaponized. He's done defending nonsense. done pretending upside is down, done being labeled a bigot for stating facts any child could understand. He's not seeking a new tribe. He's leaving because the truth no longer has a home on the left. And while he's not about to wear a MAGA hat, he's also not waving the rainbow flag of ideological insanity. The left is in freefall, and Maher just clipped the last tether.